Hello and welcome to Hooks and Cacti. In today's video we'll be showing some rare cactus seeds. 3 from my own collection and 6 from the British Cactus and Succulent Society seed list. As a member of the Cactus Society, I have access to the seed list on their website. So these seeds I got for about 50p each, which is a really good price. And if these seeds are on the website for about a year, they get reduced to just 10p. These seeds can be donated by any member of the Cactus Succulent Society. And then they're tested for germination by the seed collector before being put available on their website in the next update. The seeds I picked from the latest update are Astrophytum CV Kiko, Discocactus horsesii, another species of Discocactus latispinus, these are rare seeds to find, Epiphanthia rucili, Opergonidengi, and Strombocactus disciformis. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is incorrect. The Opergonidengi, the Discocactus horsesii, and the Epiphanthia rucili do have field numbers, so I was managed to find out where the seeds originated from when they were first collected. Not necessarily these seeds themselves, or when they were first collected from habitat. So you got the Opergonia and Epiphanthia from Mexico, found by 2 different people, and the Discocactus found in Brazil in 1905 from Leopoldo Hirst himself. So presumably he's the person who had the plant named after him. Looking at the seeds from my own collection, notice the Astrophytum capricorn monterii, which is a rare form of Astrophytum capricorn, my Mucicana mycantha, and attempt at a cross between Mucicana comcephalia and lutea. We're going to sow these seeds today. I'm going to show you how I sow them. The containers I use, brief look at the soil mix and the propagators I've got for them. Here are some plants I already have in my collection that are the same or similar to the seeds that we're sowing today. We're going to start with the Astrophytum capricorn monvelli. So this is one of the seeds that I've collected myself. Got this plant last year with a seed pod on, and the seeds were harvested in August and kept in the fridge, so hopefully they're still viable. Also, this is an Astrophytum capricorn with the really dark, long spines. Another of the seed pods that I collected myself is on this Mucicana comcephalia. Again, this plant had a seed pod on last year when I bought it, and the seeds have also been kept in the fridge since. Hopefully they still produce. Sticking with Mucicanas, we got this mycantha and lutea. These plants were both in flower at the same time last year, and I cross-pollinated them, but I only managed to get seeds from the mycantha. So we'll see if the seeds are viable, and we'll sow them anyway. I'm going to the British Cactus and Succulent Society seeds that I got. This is an example of a Strombocactus disciformis, and a little seedling that I've obtained of a Opergonidengi, which is also known as the artichoke cactus. So hopefully the seeds we sow today will look like this in a couple of years' time. This is actually an Epiphanthia micromyrmis. This is similar to the Epiphanthia brook we'll be sowing today. Over here is Astrophytum variety Chico. Chico means that it has these extra knobbly bits on the ribs of the plant. So this is just an example of a Chico. I don't know what variety the seeds are. I think this one is a myristigma. I'm not 100% sure. So there we go, some examples of the plants we're sowing today. And we'll get back to the seed sowing video right now. So here we have the containers we're going to use for sowing, and the soil and some grit ready for it to be mixed. So we'll take a look at the containers first, starting with this bigger one. It's just a little container that you use for food. Lid comes off easily enough. You pop it back on, keep it sealed. Smaller container here as well, and pops off, comes back on. And we've got a single takeaway sauce container, cleaned out. Lid pops on like so. So this is used as sort of its own little sealed container, similar to a bag method. It keeps the moisture in. So you can fill the soil usually about just under halfway. Right, and potentially could be higher depending on how small the species can be. So you might do that especially with the Strombocacti. You want sort of balance between root and plant growth. Ideally we want more root space because that's what's most important in seedlings. But we do have to bear in mind that there is a lid, but there is something we can do. If they need extra room, we can take the lid off and just put it in a plastic bag and do it that way. Right, so now we'll move on to the soil. We'll look at the soil, so we'll just move the containers to the side for now. Have a look at the soil. So in here already, let's just mix some general cactus soil, which you can get at the garden centres, and a little bit of perlite mixed in. The soil is safe to get rid of all the big twigs and stuff. And then we're just gonna add some extra grit. And not too much, because if we leave on the surface, we don't want the seed sitting on top. We'll just give that a quick mix. And this is what we particularly want to put in for seedlings, as it helps air out and give space and something for the roots to chase around in the soil. It's just some fine, really fine gravel. And I'll just pour some of this in. Okay, mix it, good lot. This in. Again, we'll just give it a quick mix. See that the fine gravel seems to have just disappeared. That means it's a good mix. Which is what we want. Like I said, we don't want too much of the big grit. It could hinder the roots, especially if it does get on the surface. We don't want the seeds sitting on top of them. I just want it nice, fine. I'm just put it with my hands. See, we just want it nice and fine, so that the seeds can sit on top and the roots can then make their way around, down. Yeah, so something we are going to do with this soil is we're going to sterilize it. So I've got some water that had been boiled in a kettle and then cooled down in this spray bottle here. So we're just going to give it a good spray as we continue to mix. So we'll cheat. So just pour some water in. We don't want it too wet, but it's just a little cheat. And we'll give it a mix. Some soil, it's all a bit damp. Just fill it up with a spoon. Put the lid loosely on, like so. I'm going to put this in the microwave for 5 minutes, stopping halfway through to give it an extra spray and a little mixed with a clean spoon that I'll use this alcohol spray on just to keep it sterilized when I mix it halfway through. So I'll go do that now and then we'll come back here. So our soil is now out of the microwave and it's had about an hour to cool down. So we'll get to sowing the seeds. We'll start with the Astrophytum Kiko seed. So we're just going to open them up, put them on the piece of paper. Here, you can just see about how many we've got. Probably not the most hygienic or sterilizing that you hoped for, but it's really the soil I'm more worried about. If you zoom in here, you can see there's about 10 seeds, which is what you expect from the Discocactus and Society seed list. Remember, these were only 50p. We can do this to determine the size of the container we need. I think I'm actually going to start and put them in the sauce tub. We'll just gently move the paper out of the way. Okay, and we'll put the label on. I'll make a note of the date when these seeds were sown on my database on my computer. I'm just going to put the label on the side of the pot. And then we use the spoon. Give it a spray with alcohol so it's somewhat still sterile. Some soil in. The Astrophytums will go about just under halfway. So there's not much soil in there, just under halfway. Might just put a little bit more in. As I said earlier, roots are more important than height, because we can always switch to the bag method. So I put some soil in here, just about halfway. We'll give it a spray with called down kettle water. You want it wet. There is no drainage holes, which is a downside, but it does keep sure. So we've got it nice and wet, and then we'll sprinkle the seeds and place the seeds on top. Like so. And then click on the top, clicks on nicely. Like so. And there we go. First what's sowed. So I'll just repeat the process with what's coming next. So next in line are the two species of Discocactus. And for this, we'll use a bigger tub and a divider to divide it in down the middle. We'll actually start this time with putting the soil in and then the divider. We've gone a little bit over half this time. I guess these guys won't get as tall as quickly, hopefully. And it means that they're also closer to the light, so they're less likely to elongate. So actually, we might actually put a little bit more soil in. A gentle shake. We don't really want to pat it. We don't particularly want to pat it down. And then I've just got a label. I'll just cut to size. Just act as a little divider. And we'll spray it again. Make sure we want to spray it we can make sure it's nice and wet, moist, and we want to be able to see it down the sides at the bottom. Make sure that the divider is secure. Gently secure the divider in place. You want to see that you get the soil at the bottom is wet as well, so you can see that it has gone darker, so we know that the soil at the bottom is wet. So we'll open the seeds up individually and then put them on their respective sides. So I'll just do the labels now. We'll put the lattice spinners on this side. And the Hortii on the other. So we'll put the Hortii on this side, and then we'll just go sow the seeds again using the piece of paper. We'll open the seeds on there. Close to losing them. So there. And you can see about 12 seeds of the Discocactus horticae first. So we'll just sow them onto the side on the right. Again, I know my finger's not hygienic way of doing it, but it is what it is. The way I do the things. So there we go. So I'll just repeat the process with the lattice spinners and put the lid on. So now the Strombocactus seeds are in the container and sealed. I'll just move them to the side for now and put them in Propagator later. I'll bring these 3 containers forward. And we'll just repeat the process that we did with the Astrophytums in the little tubs with the 3 species we got left from the British Cactus and Succulent Society seeds. So that's the Propagator, Dendrii, Epiphanthria bruculi, and the Strombocactus disciformis. Put them in one of these tubs each. So I'll go do that now. So I've now sown the last lot of the British Cactus and Succulent Society seeds. So the Propagator, we had about 11 of them. Filled up to just over half. I'm not sure how they grow if I've not grown them before. Epiphanthia can be a little bit tall. Grown micromyrmeis before, and not lost them at the next stage from this, but I've got a new way of doing that now. So giving them a little bit more room. Had about 18 seeds in the packet, and then we've got the Strombocactus. Growing these before using this exact same method. I'm giving them a little bit more room. The seeds of Strombocactus were very small, so couldn't particularly count them, and really just sprinkled up in the bag and just sprinkled over the top. So that's those three all done. Move them out the way. And we'll move on to my own seeds. We'll start with the Astrophytum capricorn. Monterey. So there's the label, which we'll put on. And we'll just open the seeds out. Let me see. So just move the spoon out the way and see seeds there. So we'll just, same as what we did before, put the soil into about halfway in the tub and sprinkle the seeds on top. So just fill the pot just over halfway again with the compost. Give it a good spray. So, and then as these Astrophytum seeds are bigger, I'll just sprinkle them around. Like that. So I'll continue that and put the lid on. So there's our Astrophytum seeds in their pot. There was quite a lot of them. I didn't really count them, so they might be a bit too close, but we'll see what happens, whether we need to space them out when they're a little bit bigger, which we'll probably always have to do anyway. But they'll be good in here for about 1.5 years, especially at the rate I grow cactus seeds. And then we've got the final container. We'll do the same what we did with the Discocactus. Split it in half and put my 2 Mutacana seeds in. So I'll go do that, and then we'll put these in the propagators. So we've now got all the seeds sowed, the 9 set of seeds sown in these pots here. So I'm just going to put them in the propagator, and we'll have a look at them and what the propagator's like. I was able to put the Mutacanas in here because I knew beforehand how many there are. So there was only about, of the mixed Matucanas, it's only about 10 seeds. There's a few more Mycanthas. So I probably should have adjusted the space, but it's easier just to split it down the middle. But we will see what happens when they come up. So I've now put the seeds in the propagator we're using. This is the propagator we're using. It comes as a pair with the grow lights included. Grow lights, you can adjust the brightness settings and you can turn them off in pairs. You can turn just these off, leave them on, but when you adjust the brightness settings, it's for all four. They have an inbuilt timer, so these are on a timer 12 hours during the day, and I paired these up with a heat mat. Well, it's also on the same 12-hour cycle as the lights. As you can see, this one's already got some seedlings in that I sowed last year and the year before. So in the next video, we'll have a closer look at what's going on in this propagator here. So if you'd like to see that, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.